Good morning, everyone. We're about to bring you the latest COVID-19 UAE updates. However, if you found this podcast through an article, which so many of you are doing, please hit that subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts so you can get your Dubai news daily. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through all the trending stories that everyone in Dubai is talking about. Today, we're talking 2 luxury cars caught fire in different places across Dubai yesterday. We're also talking about Dubai's Crown Prince, who shared a gorgeous Only in Dubai story, and the people who launched off the 77th floor of the Address Beach Resort. You've probably seen the videos, but it turns out it was part of a challenge. Pretty mental. Another challenge going on this weekend. Get involved. It's your last chance to take part in the Dubai Run. And also later in the show, we are joined by none other than Rag&Bone man himself. And I just did a little bit of a humming challenge with Instagram. I wonder if anyone got it. Probably not.
I don't think they got it.
They didn't get it?
I'm joking. They probably got it. Maybe.
I can't see your comments because I don't have my phone with me because it's right there. Anyway, it's just usually Simran or Shahir. They're more musical than me. But don't worry, guys. Simran will be back joining me tomorrow, so I won't be a Lone Ranger no more, thankfully. Before we get into it all, a love story caught our attention. A tragic love story, potentially. We saw this story about Terry Irwin, who is, of course, the wife of the late, great Steve Irwin. And she spoke about her love life 15 years after his death. And what she said really struck us. She said, I keep saying this, and I think maybe 15 years later, people will finally start to believe me. Steve was it for me. That's just the way it was. It was a big, big love, and it's enough to last a lifetime. Is that not like the most gorgeous goosebump, but also sad tale of a love story? Isn't it so incredible to know that love can last that long?
Yeah, I guess. It's similar to my grandma. My grandma never got married again after my grandfather died.
What age was she?
She was in her, I would say, 50s, 60s, 50s, I think. Wow. 50s, yeah.
I guess my mom was 48 when she lost my dad. And she never met anyone that she loved again. But it's so interesting because people talk about how difficult it is to find the one, but it's also such an amazing story that sometimes you know it's the one and they're your soulmate. Anyway, beautiful story. Moving on to our top story from Dubai yesterday. 2 luxury cars caught fire, which is quite surprising across the city. So firstly, a supercar, which is reportedly an Audi R8, which can cost around 400k, caught fire near Internet City at approximately 11 a.m. yesterday morning. Emergency services arrived to the scene and extinguished the blaze within 6 minutes. A shout out, as always, to the emergency services team. It's incredible, really, because as soon as something like this happening, thanks to you guys, we get videos shared with us at the moment of it. And then within 6 more minutes, we're seeing the fire being put out, which is pretty crazy. And no injuries were reported at the time, but shockingly, it actually wasn't the only the only car to catch flames yesterday. And there was another car, the second of which was a white Mercedes convertible, and this was in this case it was the engine or the bonnet that was in flames on Palm Jumeirah shortly after 9 p.m. So you probably saw those videos. No injuries were reported in the Audi R8 story. Again, with the convertible on the Palm, emergency services were quick to react and to extinguish the blaze. Wow, right? When you see an Audi R8 catching fire. One thing I will say is if you are driving, please do not take videos of accidents in Dubai. It hinders road progress. It could cause another accident. We see accidents in every city, but taking videos of them is kind of mindless. The videos that Lovin Dubai has shared are from people who are not actually driving, by the way. But do not share videos of people who are of accidents, and also just don't take them, because there's no point and you could cause another accident. So those are the 2 videos up on our Instagram from yesterday. But we're going to move on to another story about Dubai's Crown Prince, who shared a gorgeous Only in Dubai story. And it's kind of similar to what we shared yesterday about the taxi driver who went above and beyond, because it's just one of these kind of shows how transparent the city is and how safe the city is. So this kind of story is not uncommon in Dubai, but we really, really love when Dubai royals put fabulous community stories on a pedestal. and even responding to a citizen in this case. So a woman shared her only in Dubai story to Instagram. Claudine Fong left her baby stroller in a parking lot. And when she returned the next day, it was still there. So what she did was she posted about it. She said, only in Dubai can you leave your baby stroller in a parking lot overnight, and you'll come back to it. It'll be in the exact same place with nothing missing. When does that happen in another city? By the way, baby strollers are expensive. I have friends and family who are buying, like, people have like the Mercedes of baby strollers, like they're not cheap. So left out of the parking lot, and for it not to have moved, it's just phenomenal.
That's the best thing about Dubai. Completely safe.
So safe.
You leave your wallet, you leave anything, you leave your car running.
Don't leave your car running. We know what can happen. But safety walking, safety with your things, you know, and leaving.
You have to take precaution anyhow, but it's good to know that, if you sort of forget sometimes that nothing will happen.
I left my phone in a taxi on Friday night. And an hour later, it was brought back to my home by the taxi driver. I actually forgot about that yesterday. Yeah, like it's so incredible. And in this case, like, everything inside was just left as it was. And His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Crown Prince of Dubai, he actually shared the video and he responded and he said, thank you, Claudine, a true story that we can all relate to in Dubai. I want to know what his story is that he can relate to. What's he lost? What's he got back? But next time, no strollers left behind, please. And then he put a little smiley face, which is adorable. So that's Claudine's good story of the day. And like I said, I love when Dubai Rolls put these like fun, happy community stories, because where else do you see that, really? Where else do you see kind of royalty or government people kind of calling out the really nice, happy stories that shine a light on the positives of the city? And this might just be a left baby stroller behind to some, but actually it really shows how safe the city is. For a mom to lose her stroller would just be a bit of a nightmare, really, in terms of like having to buy a new one and all the stuff that could be in it for the baby. So for her, in a smaller sense, it's a beautiful story, but on a larger scale, to show how safe the city is, it's even better. I see comments coming in. John Phelps says, don't do that in the States, that will be gone. Exactly. Every other country, I can't even imagine. Tell us what country is as safe as this. We're just so fortunate to be able to share these stories. But something else that's going on incredible this weekend is the Dubai Run, and it's your last chance to register. So the Dubai Run is just a few days away, and now is your chance to participate in what might be the most thrilling Sheikh Zayed run, because it only takes place once a year, and it all goes down for Dubai Fitness Challenge, and it's happening on November 26th, which is just a few days away. Check out these photos from years gone by. It's so incredible. It's iconic. It lets people run past Dubai's most famous landmarks. Sheikh Zayed Road closes for this run. You choose between a 5 or 10k route to get your Friday morning kicked off in a very adrenaline-friendly way. But you need to register ahead of time. So head on to www.dubairun.com right now to register. It's all thanks to, like I said, Dubai Fitness Challenge, My Dubai. There's going to be a whole crew of Lovin Dubai down there on Friday morning. We'd love to see you out there. If you got FOMO, fear of missing out, and I'm going to explain fear of missing out, because I realize working with people in the office that I have different
millennials or Gen Z.
Yeah, I don't even know the difference between millennials and Gen Z.
Well,
it's confusing.
I guess Gen Z is more of the thing now. Yeah,
they're more trendy. Do they say FOMO?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fear of missing out. I said it yesterday.
So everyone gets FOMO. If you got FOMO from the Dubai ride, which of course was people cycling down, now take part in the Dubai Run. Of course, it's free for all, and we're actually kicking into the last weekend of Dubai Fitness Challenge. So it's a great way to get your 30 in. If you want to get your 30 in today, do note that we always have the Lovin Dubai daily challenges. You can get them on our website. We have them up on a Lovin Dubai Fitness Challenge blog, actually, which is quite cool. And the challenge for today is skipping ropes. that was me going skipping ropes, and usually I like to show them on the show, but we don't have a skipping rope in the office. But send us your videos, we'll tag them on social, and we'll get sharing them. And also tag Dubai Fitness Challenge because we want to see you guys getting your 30 in. And moving on, speaking of people who are getting their 30 in the most crazy way, the people who launched off the 77th floor of the Address Beach Resort were actually taking part in a challenge. So first of all, did you see the videos that went viral? It happened on Sunday afternoon, and we know that because where we're sitting in JLT, we can see the building over there. We can see the Address Beach Resort. It looks from here, correct me if I'm wrong, as the highest building. Oh look, the Global Village blimp is out. Interesting, they knew the show was on. It looks to be the highest building in this part of the marina, in JBR for sure. And we saw people launch off on Sunday afternoon, and when something like that happens, you usually expect a big reveal. You usually expect a real kind of produced video of what was actually going down and what they're launching and what it's about. But then we saw more videos yesterday, so we shared them yesterday morning. But what it turns out, by the way, did you see it? Let us know. Were you surprised? What it turns out, and this is the first I've heard of it, it was actually part of the UAE Hike and Fly Challenge, which is a challenge competition that brings Red Bull style Alps paragliding to the city. So if you can think of like people who love adrenaline, experts in their field, jumping off the Alps and paragliding, they're doing that in cities. So on Sunday, some of the people who are actually the best in the world at these stunts, and you need to be, do not try this at home, obviously, took part in the first of 4 challenges in Dubai. So what they have to do is not just paragliding off the building, they actually need to, it's a race. So they have to hike to the top of the specific building. In this case, it was the Address Beach Resort, and launch off, paraglide down to a set point, and then run back to the hotel. And they're expected to do this in about an hour. And what I didn't know either, but I've learned, and you're going to learn now, maybe you know already, is that it's actually launched broadcast live on YouTube. So you can watch it live on YouTube. These guys running to the top of the building. It's crazy. And congratulations to Tommy Flyhigh, who won the first leg of the 4 challenges. So we're basically going to see 3 more of these happening in Dubai. Have you ever heard of it? Never. The UAE Hike and Fly. So like I said, it's around 4, broadcast on YouTube. If we have information of the competition before it's happening, so we can actually watch it, that's something that we'll definitely let you know about. And if you just jump on to UAE Hike and Fly YouTube, maybe we can find more information. UAE, I did learn about this before, I promise. Hike and Fly. But as you know, Dubai is a city for people who love adrenaline. And they're calling this Dubai skyscraper takeoffs. And like I said, it's experts in their field who do this in cities and in different landscapes across the world. So it's super, super cool. And we have, if you check UAE Hike and Fly on Instagram as well, you can see it. But if you want to watch it live, let's all keep a track of this because it's something I definitely want to see. Like these guys pegging it to the top of a 77th floor building. How long would that take to run 77 floors? To me, that's incomprehensible.
I think it might have taken them like 45 minutes.
But then to actually put on your paragliding equipment, and imagine if it's windy, and then get down. And they all seem to launch at similar times based on the videos that were based on what we saw in real life. Snehal is saying, I love paragliding. I did it in Turkey. Was it scary? What was the height you launched from? Someone saying, well, Snehal is also asking, will Hike and Fly be available for general people? I think this is, seems like an invite-only event for the experts in the world. But what was really cool about this was the fact that on the 77th floor of the Address Beach Resort, that's actually where that really famous infinity pool is. I'm sure you've seen the videos. It's got like one of the best views in the city, so you can see the Palm on a good day. And you can also see downtown Dubai and the Burj Khalifa. So people go there for the Instagram shots, and it's also a really beautiful pool. But imagine being there on that day and then just like watching all these like guys run up. Only in Dubai, another Only in Dubai story. Guys, please stay tuned. We are going to go directly to our Rag and Bone Man interview. He's performing in Dubai on November 26th, which is also just days away. Stay tuned, A, to tell us why his mum and dad are his best critics, and B, why some people call him Mr. Rag and Bone Man. Lovin Extra is here. This is the new membership, and while absolutely nothing changes for our readers, extra members get access to premium content, exclusive competitions, and first look for tickets and access to the coolest events across the city, and Lovin merch. If you subscribe right now, a very cool Lovin Red Eco Water bottle will be delivered to your door. Let's go. Welcome back to Lovin Dubai show. We are now joined by Rag'n'Bone Man. His debut album was the biggest selling male album of the decade, and he's coming to the Coca-Cola Arena on November 26th to drop his hits like Human, Skin, Anywhere Away From Here, and All You Ever Wanted. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Not at all, not at all. We're more excited to have you in Dubai, would you believe? But how do I introduce you? Do I call you Rag'n'Bone Man? It came up as Rory's iPhone, so can I call you Rory?
Yeah, sure. Rory's good. That's good.
What do your fans call you when you get DMs?
Some say Mr. Rag'n'Bone Man. some say my proper name. It's slightly weird when people say hi Rag'n'Bone Man, because it's slightly strange.
Do you like having that separate dimension? So it's like that could be is that your alter ego? When you go on stage, you're Rag'n'Bone Man, and when you're at home, you're someone totally different. You're Rory. Yeah,
that's sort of kind of the reason I came up with it in the first place, because I like to separate the two worlds a bit, and especially now I've got a family and stuff, and when I'm at home, I'm just Dad or Rory, and it's like I can separate the two worlds. It's nice to have that degree of separation.
Yeah. Well, speaking of two worlds, 5 years ago, you obviously released what became a huge, humongous hit, 1.3 billion views on YouTube. Catastrophic, really. But before that, obviously, music has been part of your life for so long. Before Human came along, what was your proudest musical moment to date then?
Well, I mean, I kind of had like very different stepping stones at different points in my career. And for me, they were always about playing like certain venues. I would feel like I'd made it to a certain point if I played a certain venue. And there was always the venues in Brighton that I really loved were like, there's a venue called Concord 2, which is like very much like a rock and roll venue that everybody wants to play at a certain point in their career. So it's like 600, 700 people. But I felt like I'd really made it when I played that venue. And then fast forward a couple of years, and I think Great Escape Festival 2016, I want to say.
Yeah.
I played the Chord Exchange in Brighton, the Brighton Dome, which is like a beautiful, beautiful theatre arena, an old school theatre. And that was kind of a moment where I was like, I've really caught people's attention, because that's a venue you kind of only play that venue. It's pretty prestigious. So yeah, I kind of, that was like a real stepping stone moment.
Can you remember the first time you went out and like people recognized your music for Rag'n'Bone Man?
I kind of remember like getting phone calls from friends of mine in different countries, and that was the moment I kind of knew that people really knew about my music, was when I had one of my friends from school that moved all the way to Australia and lived in Melbourne at the time, and called me and said, dude, like I'm working on a building site and all day long playing your music on the radio. Okay. Which was very cool to me, because, coming from like a kind of musical scene down here in Sussex that was very like central to sort of Brighton and maybe London as well. But, making it out to somewhere like Australia was pretty cool to me.
What's the pressure like after creating something like Human on your second album? So we're talking about Life by Misadventure. Pressure and timelines, and tell us the process that went into it.
I think from an outside perspective, it took quite a long time, which it did. I guess 4 years in between albums is quite a long time. But because, amazingly, the first record was so successful, it meant that we were touring it for like 3 years. We went everywhere in the world, which is amazing. But then I'm not someone who can start on a new project whilst I'm still kind of touring the world. It doesn't really work for me. So I had to finish that and then draw like a very certain line between that album and this new project. And it just took me a bit of time to realize what kind of album I wanted to make, and just get back into the kind of realm of writing songs and feeling like I could be creative again. So yeah, I just took my time with it, and I'm glad I did, because it meant that the two records sound vastly different. Not only kind of lyrically, but musically sound vastly different, and that was very much on purpose. So I'm happy I made that decision, not to jump straight into a new album after the first one.
Do you have pressure from labels on timelines, and also do you have pressure on labels based on the sound and genre of your music?
I think I thought I would have, but actually no. I kind of, even though I am signed to a major label, I've always been very independent with the making of my records, and what sound I wanted to achieve. It was always been really up to me, and they're a really good label in a way that they just let me be who I am and do what I want to do and write the songs that I want to write. And I came to them with like a nearly finished record when this one was done, and I think there were some surprise faces of like, okay, this is like very different, but they were cool about it. They embraced it, and there was no, oh, you've got to go back and try and recreate something that's similar to Humans. So it was good in that way. They're very respectful of my art, so it was great.
Whose judgment do you trust before you kind of hit the release button on a song? Who are you WhatsApping your music to, being like, is this good, or is it all you?
I'm kind of good at judging myself, sometimes a bit too heavily. Maybe I'm a bit too self-critical sometimes, but I usually play it to my family. I usually play it to my mum before, and played some stuff to my dad, and I like for them to hear it before anybody else does. And they're usually pretty good judges. My mum's usually like, is there any happy songs on the record?
So you're self-critical and they're pretty positive?
Yeah, they're pretty positive.
What is your after concert routine? Are you a partier or are you a chill out kind of guy?
I always need like an hour to myself after the show, because I get too hyped up, and I need to have a little come down space. So I usually just go back to my dressing room for at least half an hour, maybe an hour, to just chill, and maybe like I'll just have like maybe a gin and tonic after the show and chill for a little while before anybody comes in.
Just like, ooh.
Yeah, because you have to let yourself come down a little bit.
I think the world is still, this is slightly off topic, but I think the world is still kind of reeling from the Travis Scott Astroworld tragedy. So I'm just wondering, as you're going into tour and preparing for obviously shows, is there more responsibility on artists now since the tragedy, or has that always been there?
I think it's always been there. I mean, listen, I'm vastly underqualified to comment on that situation, but I think there's always been a danger that something like that was going to happen at some point, and it has happened. Maybe not just in music, but it has happened in the sports world and stuff before. So yeah, I think we've always got to be vigilant of that. But I think sometimes it comes down to how crazy popular someone is. Like someone like Travis Scott has got such a huge fan base that just the sheer amount of fans was always going to cause a problem, and it's such a tragedy that it came to that for people to realise, But yeah, of course, we're responsible as artists, though, to keep a check, for sure.
I mentioned a minute ago, what's your kind of after show routine? And obviously you're coming to Dubai, which you may or may not know, it's basically a playground for adults. Do you have plans outside of however you want to take that, do you have plans outside of your concert for stuff to do while you're here?
I think some of the band are trying to get me to do a skydive, and I was like, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, you should do it.
I'm just going to stay quiet until it's over. But I think I don't know. I'm bringing my missus out. We're going to go. We've already had our eye on a couple of like restaurants. It was like an underwater restaurant we want to go to, and I think there's been talk of some sort of like quad biking, dune buggying thing that could be quite fun.
It's all fun, and if your wife is into spas, I'll tell her there's a lot of salons that she should definitely check out.
Okay.
They're very, very nice. There's Turkish hammam, just like experiences that are just nicer than elsewhere.
Okay.
I'd recommend. Look it up. Okay, look, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, that was Ragged Bone Man. He's coming to the Coca-Cola Arena, 26th November. You can call him Gary if you want to. Or you can call him Rory, sorry. So close. You can call him Rory if you watch this show. November 26th, Coca-Cola Arena. Tickets on sale now. Do not miss it. It is going to be whopper. Again, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bless you. Have a good day.
Guys, that is a wrap for the Lovin Daily. We are back same time, same place every weekday morning. And of course, don't miss the Lovin Show every Tuesday where I chat with Dubai personalities. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and have a great day.